So thank you for tuning in to Explain the Video. When I initially started doing these, the point was to educate people. I feel like en masse, the population is not educated. I feel like there's a lot of information we just don't know that we don't know. Like that second level, I'm talking Pulp Fiction. I want to do a better job of explaining to people how the system works and what the system is doing to help people, because we don't do a good job of educating people on that. Whether it's politicians, whether it's our educational institutions, the system is not set up to educate you on what's going on. The system is set up to exploit your labor, let's be honest. But like, it's not set up in a way that, you know, the average person can easily and quickly, you know, comprehend what's going on. So I wanted to make a conscious effort to be a part of an educational effort. So that's why I started making these videos. So I've noticed a lot of my videos have been negative or perceived negative, and it's not because I'm trying to be negative, it's because I'm presenting the information as it is. In some instances, I'm going to be against a thing if I think it's negative. If like I'm talking about putting $6.5 million towards a fish tank versus pretty much anything else, I'm gonna, you know, have a bias. But I don't want my videos to only be negative, so I want to talk about something good. I want to talk about something positive, and in fact, this is something I think we are ahead of the curve on. Can't confirm that, but I do think we're ahead of the curve on this. So Governor Kathy Hochul put $50 million into the state budget last year, and it was to fight poverty in upstate New York. So the proposal itself specified Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse, and the point was to address poverty in these areas. So this initiative was announced last year before the budget so that it can be in this year's budget so that we can spend the money this year. That's like the point. And last year when it was announced, I was like, oh, that's lit. I wanted to be on record saying how I think we should spend that money. So if you look, so I'll put the link in, obviously you can read the whole thing, but in New York State, the poverty rate is 18.8, which is higher than the national average. But in the city of Syracuse, it's even worse at about, you know, twice that, almost 3 times that. I am incredibly grateful for Governor Kathy Hochul and her decision to do this. This is awesome. Let's be clear. I am happy that this money came in. I, you know, forever cynical, so I do have some qualms and I'll talk about it throughout this, but this is a good thing, period. So in my article, which was last year, I stated that I want the money to be, I think the money should be used in 3 main areas: direct cash support, childcare, and youth employment. So direct cash support is, in my opinion, the best because poor people know what they need. So I give you a little backstory about me. I've always been a black man. I'll always be a black man. There's nothing I can do about that. But an identity that I've held my whole life growing up, honestly up until recently, was poor. I was poor. You know, I've used food stamps before. I've used a food stamp card. I've been on Medicaid. Like, I have no shame in that. I owned it. I needed it. Like, it got me through tough times, but I'm no longer in that position. I would be lying to you if I said I still identify as poor. The system, quote unquote, helped me get where I am today. I hope too. But like, I still identify with that. I still feel that struggle because it shaped me. It was my formative years. So I represent the 15th District of Onondaga County, you know, the neighborhoods of Strathmore, out of Comstock, Elmwood, the Valley, the South Side, the near West Side, Westcott neighborhood, University neighborhood, out of Comstock, Meadowbrook neighborhood. I represent these areas for sure. But, you know, I represent all poor people when I speak because this is where I come from. This is my background. And in my experience, not even in my experience, studies show that the best way to address poverty is direct cash to poor people, because poor people know what they need. They just do. It's in their, like, it's inherent in your nature. The studies show that, but my lived experience really shows that. You know, you hear the other side, they get the talking points like, oh, they're gonna use drugs, or people, they get the assistance and they never get off. It's false. I had SNAP, I had Medicaid. I don't have SNAP or Medicaid no more. My lived experience doesn't support their theory. The science doesn't support their theory, and my knowing of people does not support their theory. Anybody who's ever, you know, did unemployment before, I've had to do unemployment before. Anybody who's ever did it knows that that process is very annoying. It's a long, tedious process. I hate it. Job training workshop sucks too, because I know what I need to do to get a job. I have my resume. Like, we could update my resume as many times as they want. They might hire me. Point being, I'm in favor of direct cash support as like the #1 way to address poverty. So I put direct cash support, affordable childcare, and youth employment. These are the 3 ways that I suggested we spend the money. I think that these are the ways that will get the most bang for our buck to maximize this opportunity. So Governor Hochul announced the cities of Syracuse, Buffalo, and Rochester. Each locality sought and received community input while working with their county Department of Social Services to develop and finalize these plans. So the way that spending works, the money goes through the county. I don't know why it's that way, but I know it's that way. And it's actually the reason that I ran for county legislature and not city council. It's the reason that I'm the county legislator right now and not the common councilor. I think you gotta follow the money. The money comes from the state, and although it's going to the city of Syracuse, the administration of said money goes through the county of Onondaga. It's literally the reason that I'm on the county legislature, is because I'm aware of how this system works. Folks say, poverty is, you need jobs. I think poverty is you need money. Jobs can get you money for sure, but the thing you need is not a job. The thing you need is money. So each county did their own thing. So Monroe got $25 million, Onondaga got $12.5 million, and Erie $12.5 million as well. So I'm put a short disclaimer. This is actually take 2 of this video. In my reading of it, it frustrated me, and I can admit that I was wrong. If you read the article, and I'll put a link in the description so you can find this. If you read it though, it says the Monroe County Human Services $25 million. So within 180 days of their expected delivery date, 200 TANF eligible pregnant women are eligible to receive cash incentive of up to $1,000 per month for up to 2 years. Not bad. So if you look, the existing 2-gen pilot program will be expanded, providing intensive case management and trauma-informed goal setting for Syracuse families who receive temporary assistance to better promote well-being. The program encourages continued employment by providing payments to help ease the perceived effects of benefit cliffs. Participating households whose income exceeds eligibility for assistance will continue to receive their monthly benefit for 12 months, after which the benefit will be slowly reduced to 0. Additionally, the plan will support non-custodial payments by helping them reduce their child support orders to better reflect what they can afford, and connecting them with employment and parenting programs. So we also did other things, and I'm gonna talk about that too. And then in Erie County, it also says direct cash payments would be provided for up to 600 families, 29 payments, 16 grand per family if they meet the benchmarks. Savings accounts will be open. That's hot. That's cool. Oh, they only, look at that. Okay, it looks like in Erie County, they picked 600 families. They're giving all the money out. Good job, Erie County. We should have did this. I was about to give us credit. Way to go, Erie County. I didn't know that. That's dope. So yeah, it looks like Erie County took their whole $12.5 million and they're giving it to families, or at least a large portion of it. 16 grand per family if they meet the benchmarks. I'm sure the benchmarks are similar to our benchmarks. You kind of probably like unemployment, but you gotta, check in with your job. You gotta go on a certain number of interviews. You gotta, work with the career and life coaches. But this is dope. This is lit. I ain't even gonna hold you. This is lit. They put a savings account match. Every dollar deposited by the participant will receive a $3 match up to $3,000. That's lit. All right, so Erie County, in my opinion, they won. But I'm not willing to, I ain't gonna hold you. That's lit. We should have did that. So what I do want to say, Erie did a really good job according to me, but I do want to acknowledge that we have been doing this for a minute now. We're expanding our program. They're establishing their program. That's a different. I give a lot of crap when the crap is due, but I'll give credit when the credit is due. And this is something that the county executive was ahead of, or at least ahead of Erie. So I've known about the 2-gen program for a bit. I actually met with, is this Sarah Merrick? I'm pretty sure Sarah Merrick, DSS chair. Oh yeah, I met with Commissioner Merrick. And she broke it down for me, and I think the program is dope. I do. We were ahead of the curve with that. So I met with her because I knew this money was coming, and I didn't know enough about the 2-gen program, and I wanted to see what was up. Catch you guys up. We're all caught up now. We know about the program. Our program has been in place since 2021. It's either 2021 or 2022. If I got that wrong, my bad. But definitely before 2024 when this, came into play. What I want to talk about is the Health and Human Services Committee meeting that we had in December, where we amended the county budget to accept the grant from the state. We talked about expanding the 2-gen program, housing assistance for community engagement, attendance project to combat absenteeism, and the diaper service. 4 pieces approved by New York State. Expansion of the 2-gen program, housing and rents, 4.2. That's supposed to be an M. Jamie. Chronic absenteeism, which is not unique to us, and the diaper bank. Folks asked a bunch of questions. I think I watched this one on Facebook. I don't think I was in person for this. We asked a bunch of questions. Does the county have a list of landlords? Who will be the liaison for inadequate housing? Blah, 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 blah. You can look through this. I'll put this in the link too. Knock yourself out. 4.6 million is going to 2Gen. 2Gen gives stipend, direct cash payments to people, but we anticipate serving 450 households over a 3-year period. In comparison to Erie County doing 600 families, Erie knocked it out the park, let's be clear. But we've been doing it for longer, and I do think ours is going to have an impact. Shout out Ann Rooney. This is a good thing all around. Let's be clear. We use it to expand 2Gen. We're gonna do housing assistance for community engagement. I don't like this one. I guess I can talk about this. DSS will contract with Homeless and Housing Coalition to operate a landlord incentive and retention service and a tenant navigation service. Landlords who rent to temporary assistance clients will have a one-stop, one-call support system to address any tenant issues. Tenants will be able to access tenant navigators who will provide information on rights and responsibilities and assist with landlord issues. This model has been successful in Cincinnati, Las Vegas, Omaha, and Dallas to expand and sustain permanent housing options for very low income housing. We anticipate bringing online 750 new units and supporting 450 tenants over a 3-year period. We are in a housing crisis. You've heard me say this before, and I'm gonna say it again. We're putting 4.2 million. I would have loved to put 6.5 million. Now we put from the aquarium because that would make this number 10 point whatever, but we're not gonna do that. I think this is dope. We're in a housing crisis. Like, we have families living in hotels. A part of the a part of the reason why, Republicans, deep conservative Republicans support initiatives like this is because it's cheaper to put people in houses than it is to put people in hotels. It's the numbers thing. I've said this my whole career, but providing housing is economically smart. It saves you money. It does. I know folks think that, you build a house. I don't know what y'all be talking about. I really don't. But it is just smarter to build steady housing than it is to not. Full stop. You take $10, you invest that $10 into housing, or you don't. The $10 invested into housing is better than the $10 in your pocket. If you take $10 and invest it in an aquarium. I digress. I think this is a good thing, and I want to give the flowers when they're due. I encourage you to go read the entire thing. We're putting 1.3 million into a diaper bank. It's one of the biggest health stressors is not having enough money for diapers. I don't got kids, but I know people with kids. Diapers is mad expensive. We're gonna work with the Diaper Bank and Early Childhood Alliance. They're gonna be doing the work. The bank can purchase diapers in bulk, which is dope. And they are gonna be in charge of getting it out to who needs it. We put 1.3 million to there. And then we put 1.2 million into chronic absenteeism. Okay, yeah, so this reestablishes a program in 7 city schools. And the goal is to tackle family issues preventing kids from being in school on a regular basis. As far as the absenteeism is concerned, we're gonna put forth an attendance project focused on school absenteeism. Department of Children and Family and Services will lead this program and work in partnership with the City Syracuse School District. The program's goal is to ensure every student can succeed by regularly attending school to combat chronic absenteeism. The project will embed a full-time attendance reading is tough. Liaison within 7 schools. The liaison will partner with the principal, vice principal, social worker, psychologist, and other school personnel to identify and support students struggling with consistent attendance issues. Supports may include transportation assistance, housing and utility support, health and mental health services, clothing, nutritional support, and childcare assistance. Each liaison will serve 50 families. We anticipate assisting 1,050 families over a 3-year period. So I gotta put the camera on me and be serious for a second. Chronic absenteeism is a problem in our community. Chronic absenteeism is described as, 10%? According to Google, chronic absenteeism is when a student, I said 10%. Chronic absenteeism is when a student misses 10% or more of school days, which is about 18 days in a year. So 10% is a problem. Students can't get educated if they're not in the class. I know folks who've known me for a long time are chuckling on the inside because I had terrible attendance as a kid. Unless I had football practice, in which case I had excellent attendance. But no, back to serious. Chronic absenteeism is a problem. If students aren't in class, they're gonna struggle to get educated. Full stop. What I want to say though, and we kind of touched on it in our minutes, the project is going to create the liaison who's going to work with a social worker, psychologist, and other school personnel To support students struggling with consistent attendance issues. To support students struggling with consistent attendance issues, we are going to provide transportation assistance, housing and utility support, health and mental health services, clothing, nutritional support, and childcare assistance, which is a great thing. And I'm glad we're doing it to combat chronic absenteeism. However, we shouldn't need chronic absenteeism to address those things. If we know that transportation and housing are issues for students with chronic absenteeism, addressing transportation and housing would address this. I talk about root causes a lot, and root causes is a big, I'm getting upset. I talk about root causes a lot, and root causes is like a big part of the, the discussion. These things lead to absenteeism. When you don't have affordable housing, when you don't have stable housing, it's hard to go to school when you gotta move. You just gotta move today. You got evicted. I don't want this to be negative. I want this to be a good video, and I'm happy that the governor put forth money towards addressing this issue. I am grateful that this was done. I encourage everyone to read the bill. It upsets me knowing that the state of New York, not even the county of Onondaga, the state of New York took $1.2 million and put it to chronic absenteeism, which we acknowledge is an issue. It's not unique to our county, but it's definitely present in our county. We put $1.2 million in it from the state, not even from us. But we had $6.5 million for aquarium money sitting around. Why not put it here? I digress. This is a good thing. Thank you, Governor Hochul. Folks who know me know I have not been the biggest supporter of Governor Hochul. I've not been the biggest critic. I thought Cuomo was a terrible governor. Out of 10, I probably would have gave Cuomo a 2. When I read the report, that went down to a 1. Terrible dude to work for. If I gave Cuomo a 2, I'm probably giving Governor Hochul a 6, maybe even a 7. She's been a significant improvement, but I do think there's a lot of things she could have done better. This is an excellent thing. This is a great initiative. This is going to save lives. I'm very thankful that this was done, and I want to be incredibly sincere in saying that.